Hi guys and welcome to Crazy Burger. So in this video we're going to be looking at Piko Interactive. Could we see a Piko Interactive Collection 4 on Evercade? I think there's a high possibility this could happen through 2024. Without further ado, let's get started and let's have a look at the details. So guys, on Evercade we already have a lot of Piko related cartridges. We have Piko Collection 1, 2 and 3. We also have Piko Arcade and we also have the other Piko licenses come under the sort of arcade collections as Gaelco Arcade 1 and Gaelco Arcade 2. Now I think there's a very high possibility we could see more Piko Interactive stuff through 2024, and I think it's probably going to be Piko Collection 4 on the red label, which is obviously console games. There's quite a number of games that they still have that we haven't seen on Evercade yet that they've got licensed, whether it's new releases, pre-orders or whatever, or games that are already out there that they've licensed. Now they do tend to license a lot of like games that never made it back in the day, unreleased games, prototypes that never really quite made it, and games maybe that they've relicensed and picked up. But let's have a look at some of those games and we'll play through a few of them as well, and you can let me know what you think. Do you think we'll see a Piko Interactive Collection 4? I think there's a high possibility that we could see this year. Okay, so this is the new releases or pre-orders as they've got, and you can see if you want to pick up a physical version of these games, it is very pricey indeed. Now you'll recognise a few of these games, I guess, from the collections we already have on Evercade, like obviously Zero Tolerance. We've got Soccer Kid, Legend of Wukong, and a few others as well, and obviously Top Racer. But these are super expensive if you want to buy them physical on the original systems that they were made for. So we're getting really good deals when we get the Evercade cartridges. Now the first game I think we might see, we've got this one here. It's called Moto X, and it was a previously unreleased game on the SNES. And it's obviously a kind of a excite bike for the SNES, I think, if you will. Unfortunately, I can't play through. This is probably the only game I can't play through. It's not been released, and there's nothing I can play out there unless I decide to buy this physical version, which is about $60. So I'm not really going to do that. But there's a lot of screenshots here that we can have a look at. Obviously, a lot of people never played these games, which is obviously a very appealing fact about all these games, which is brilliant. But anyway, let's look at the next one that we could potentially see. No doubt about it, I think we could probably see Glover on the Evercade. Not necessarily the N64 version. I think they also have the license for the PlayStation version, which I think it was originally a Oliver Twins game, funny enough. I'm not sure what banner they actually released the game on, but Piko actually own the license for this game now, so it's very possible we could see this game on a collection this year. Anyway, I'm going to play through the PlayStation version next and give you an idea what to expect. It's kind of a very average style platformer game. It's okay. It's a little bit, I guess, like 40 Winks in that sort of style 3D sort of environment.
Shazam!
Okay, another game that we might see is this one here. This is Broken Circle, and it's on the Game Boy Advance. It's a type of a turn-based RPG style game, and it was unreleased as well back in the day. There is a prototype version out there that I can play, so I'm going to play through this next, and you can let me know what you think. It looks okay. So there's quite a lot of SNES titles in here that we haven't seen yet. The first one we're looking at here is Stone Protectors, and this was another unreleased game, or was it released? Well, let's see the details of it. I think it might have been released. Yeah, it's an unreleased game on the Sega Genesis, but there was a version released on the Super Nintendo back in the day called Stone Protectors. It might have been called something else maybe, but we can play through this one. I think it's a beat 'em up. Some kind of a scrolling beat 'em up game, but yeah, let's have a look at that now. Now, another game we could potentially see, and I think a lot of people have probably mentioned this one before, is Super 3D Nose Ark. There's also a Genesis version as well. I'm not sure which one they would pick if we actually get this. And it's like a first-person shooter, but you are obviously playing the role of Noah. I'm not really sure what the idea of the game is. It's a non-violent shooter game. You don't actually kill anyone, you actually put the animals to sleep throughout the levels. It does look like it's a kind of a Doom clone or a Wolfenstein clone as such, but it's not a violent game as such. So it's obviously a very family-friendly game. And it looks quite interesting. It's not one I played back in the day, and it was released in 2013, which, yeah, that's a long time after the Super Nintendo was successful, I think. But let's have a look at that now. There's quite a few of the Super Nintendo games here. This one is called Gurmy Squad or Gurmy Warriors. I'm not sure what the correct title is. We've got a few different titles there. And this one was originally published in Japan only in very low quantities, and Piko have acquired the rights to release this game fully. This one is also a scrolling beat 'em up as well, and it looks nice and colourful. So let's have a look at that now. Okay, another possible game is Cornbuster. Interesting name for a game, not entirely sure what's going on there. It's another unreleased Super Nintendo game, and it's a bit like Devilish for the Sega Genesis. It features boss fights, cutscenes, mini games, that sort of thing. Sounds very interesting, but yeah, let's have a quick look at that now. Now this one looks great. I love the artwork that they've got here. This is Mr. Bloppy Saves the World, and it's a bit of a mix of sort of puzzle style games. I guess they're trying to. And this game was cancelled at the time, but licensed and published now by Piko Interactive in 2013. Well, we see this, not entirely sure. I'm not sure it's a particularly great game. There's different puzzles to explore through all the different worlds. But anyway, let's have a quick look at it now. Okay, another game on the SNES. This is Apocalypse 2, and I think it's very much like a kind of a asteroid style game. It does feel a little bit rough, to be honest, playing this. I'm not sure if that's really just the demo version that I've been playing, but it looks alright. It's got over 20 levels, 16-bit graphics on the SNES, but let's have a look at that now. Okay, another possibility is Legend, and they have the 26 reprint SNES version here. I'm pretty sure this must have been an arcade game. I think, yeah. It's a fantasy beat 'em up by Arcade Zone, released for the SNES in 1994. And this is a reprint. So this one was actually released back in the day. This is just a relicensed reprint with sort of nicer artwork, and it's region free, I guess. Pretty cool. It obviously resembles games like Final Fight or Streets of Rage. So it's a scrolling beat 'em up. So let's have a look at it now. Okay, this one sounds a bit dodgy. This one's called Pinky. This is a SNES version as well. I think this one was it's another unreleased SNES platformer that was published by Millennium, who also done James Pond, and it was originally developed for the Amiga by Data Design Interactive, and it's a sort of platform style game. You need to rescue all the eggs that are scattered in each level, and there's several worlds to go through. So let's have a quick look at that now. So there's also a few NES games that we could potentially see. Now, we've already got Exploding Fist, Pyramids of Ra, which is actually an unlockable secret game that we've got on Evercade, and we've got Gym Power. I think it's the Genesis version we have, but Piko have the licensing for lots of different versions of Gym Power. I'm not sure which one is the best. I have no idea. I just know that the version we have is unbelievably tough. Another game we could possibly see is this one here. It's called Little Lancelot, and it was released originally only in PAL regions under the Prince Valiant license. Not one I can recall. It looks kind of interesting. I'm not sure what's going on here. It looks almost like a Pitfall style game. But yeah, let's have a quick look at it now. So they also have a few Genesis games, which we already have on Evercade. You can see all of these ones: Legend of Wukong, Zero Tolerance, Water Margin, Brave Battle Saga, Canon, Legends of the New Gods. We've all got those already. We've got Switchblade, which is fantastic. Absolutely love it. There's also the Mega Drive version of Stone Protectors, and as we can see there, the Mega Drive version of Nose Ark. Not sure what the differences are between that and the SNES version, and not sure which one we would pick if we got the option, if that came on Evercade. But let's have a look at this game. This is Thunderbolt 2, and this is obviously on the Genesis or Mega Drive, whichever you prefer. This one is a scrolling shooter, and it looks pretty nice as well. So let's have a quick look at that now. Now we've also got some Atari Jaguar games that Piko have licensed. I don't think we'll ever see Atari Jaguar or Jaguar on Evercade. I just don't think the emulation is good enough. I think it's getting better, there's no doubt about it, but I think we are a long way off from seeing that, especially on Evercade. I don't think the Evercade is powerful enough to be able to play these games. I might be wrong, but I just don't think we'll ever see any Jaguar games at all. I'd love to see some of these written up in Possible, sounds great. Head Over Heels perhaps, and Switchblade 2 would be great, but I think we might even see Switchblade 2 at some point, but there are other options available for that. Even the Atari Lynx version would be quite interesting, but I think at the moment I don't think we will see any of these games at all. So Piko also have some games under these banners, the TurboGrafx Amiga CD32. They are really just gem power that's in there. There's nothing else to actually show. Now I'm pretty sure Piko are always constantly looking at licensing new games all the time, so we might see some new stuff appear throughout the year and they might end up on Evercade. But I'm not really sure. Will we see Piko Interactive Collection 4? I think there's a high possibility we could well see them. I think given the fact that we've got so many carts from Piko already and they've clearly got a very close relationship with Blaze, I think this is a high possibility of happening through 2024. Anyway guys, thanks very much for watching our video. Catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.